promise not to hold you long tonight. Because I know it's not doing anything but getting colder outside. Just a quick, really a reminder of a couple of things with where you are with the Lord when you have, and the difference between the peace of God and peace with God. John 14, verse 27, it says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid." Now, if you remember, John 14 starts out with, "Let not your heart be troubled." John 14:1 says, "Let not your heart be troubled." And he finishes after the bequest of peace, then he says, "Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid." There used to be a bumper sticker. It was actually on the back of our church van when I was a kid. It said, and I've seen it many times since then, but it said, "No Jesus, no peace. N-O, Jesus, N-O, peace." And then at the bottom it said, "No Jesus, no peace. K-N-O-W, Jesus, K-N-O-W, peace." And as a kid, I asked my dad, "What does that mean?" He said, "Well, if you don't have Jesus, you don't have peace. And if you know Jesus, you know peace." Now, there's a difference between knowing of Jesus and knowing Him. Okay? I've used this example before. I'm not going to embarrass nobody here, but I'm pretty sure nobody was around when Abraham Lincoln was around. Taking a venture. Okay. You're going to get in trouble. I seen that. You're going to get in trouble. But we all know of Abraham Lincoln from what we've studied, what we've heard in history books and so forth. But none of us knew him personally. There are a lot of people in this world that know Jesus. They know of him. They say, "Oh, he was a good man. He was a good teacher. He was he was this, he was that." And then they'll ask, as Jesus asked his disciples, he said, who do you say that I am?" Peter said, "Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God." And Jesus responded to Peter, "Flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father which is in heaven." Then he told Peter, "Upon this rock I'll build my church." And he was referring to the rock itself, the foundation, Christ being the foundation, the cornerstone of our church, the cornerstone of our belief. To know Jesus means you have that one-on-one, that communion with him. The importance of the communion table is taking part in the body and in the blood of Christ. It means you're telling the Lord that there's more than me knowing of you. I know you in an intimate relationship, and that we have a bond. He is mine, and I am His. And when we are, Philippians 4:7 says this. It says, "And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and words through Christ Jesus." When Jesus was leaving, he was talking here to his disciples, and he was getting ready to depart. He was getting ready to leave. He knew his time was drawing nigh, and he was leaving them in peace. He departed in peace. He didn't depart in anger. many times if we're in this situation and we know what's coming our way, we will leave in anger or in a huff. And we know that I'm guilty of it too. My father-in-law says it like this: there's just a few things that God still needs to deliver me from. And sometimes I think one of the last things we as children of God let go of is our temper. And the thing is when we don't have temperance, and this falls on me before it falls on y'all. If we don't have temperance, we're not spiritual. Brother Jason, what do you mean? Because temperance is one of the fruits of the Spirit. If I have temperance, I'm spiritual. If I have meekness, kindness, and those things make me spiritual. It's all in one. It's all or none. You can't pick and choose which ones make you spiritual. It's all or none. And a lot of people think that, well, I have this, I'm spiritual. No, because all of that is the characteristics of a child of God. All of those 9 spiritual fruits are a characteristic of a child of God. And if you're missing one, you're missing all. So we know to know Jesus is to know peace, and it's that peace of God. The peace of God was when we're at peace with Him. All right? What that means is I'm saved. All right? I'm a born-again child of God. I'm on my way to heaven. When I was on visitation as a kid, I'd go out on visitation. My line was, I'm Brother Jason, I'm from so-and-so Baptist Church. I'm on my way to heaven. Just want to know if you want to go with me. That was my line I used when I knocked on somebody's door. And I always, no matter what they came back with, and man, could they come back with some wild stuff. One of my favorites is, I guess will always be my favorite, is the guy told me, I don't need Jesus, I'm a Golden Gloves boxer. That's the honest truth. And all you can say with that something like that was, you have to give them the Dr. Phil response on that one. You know what the Dr. Phil response is? Let me know how that works out for you. But we depart from there the same way Jesus did, in peace. No. To argue with somebody, that means you've let them draw you into their arena. Then you've totally missed it while you were there. Lord bless you. Move on. Jesus told his disciples, knock the dust from your feet and move on to the next. Will that guy ever go to church? Don't know. I never see him at mine. Hopefully, prayerfully, he went to one and realized that he was going to need more than boxing gloves to get to heaven. But but no matter what happened, at whatever situation came up, we departed in peace. And I believe that's the way the Lord wanted us, not to argue. Too many people, you see it now more so you see it on Facebook. Somebody will say something out there, and I'm pretty sure there are things that hit your Facebook, especially if you're the person that puts out the ones that say, I'm not ashamed to say I love the Lord. I'm not ashamed. You put those things out, which are great. But you'll get stuff back like really terrible stuff. And that's the Facebook algorithm trying to push you out. Because Facebook doesn't like that. Facebook doesn't like what we're doing here. They always come up with some reason for our streams not to work. Because they don't want the gospel getting out. The peace that and like I said, I'm saved, I'm born in a child of God, so I have peace. I have the peace of God, knowing that one day when I leave this walk of life, I will live forever in heaven. Now, I have that. That is assurance. You know that song, the song that was sing, "Blessed Assurance, Jesus is mine." That's that peace of God. Now, there's a difference between the peace of God and peace with God. Every day I make a choice whether I'm going to be at peace with, to have at peace with God. Brother Jason, what is the difference? Because I'm really trying to clear this up for you, because the water can get muddy real quick on this one. So the most simple way I can do it is the peace of God is the assurance of knowing that one day you will live with Him in heaven. Peace with God is the day-to-day grace, the day-to-day living. We make a choice every day whether we're going to take up our cross and follow Him, or whether we're going to throw caution to the wind and say, "God, I got this." Understand what I mean on that one? Don't, Brother Jason, I would never intentionally do that. I'm not saying you would. I'd like to say I don't ever intentionally go, "You know what, God, you take the back seat today, I'm driving." And every time I do that, just like we were talking about before church, I end up that guy on 635 bouncing off all the walls in every car in my path. That's what happens. Then I look at God and go, "What did you do? You let me drive." God said, "No, you took the wheel." See the difference? He didn't let you do anything. You took it. So, well, Brother Jason, He shouldn't let us. If He did that, we wouldn't be able to choose every day. He wants you to choose every day to serve Him. He wants you to make that choice every day to look for Him, to find Him. Well, see, we all thought that we had to stop seeking Him after we found Him for salvation. No, folks, this life is constantly searching for Jesus. Even though He resides within my heart, and one day I'm going to heaven, I still look for Him in each and every aspect of my life. And if I can't find Him, I have a problem. If there's somewhere in my life that I don't have Jesus, then I don't have peace with God. Now, I still have the peace of God. I still have that. That one day, I know that no matter how bad I stumble, that one day I will be with Him in paradise. I know that. But as I go on day to day, I want to be at peace with God. Walking in the Spirit. Because we've all tried the other way and it never works. Amen? So, and He said, the peace that He leaves us, is we not only have a title to it, but we can have possession of it. That's also the difference between peace of and peace with. Knowing that we have a title to that peace, but then when we claim possession of it, we actually have the peace. It's not something far off that we'll achieve one day when we're in heaven. No, we have that peace. We can have that peace here on this earth. Now, even though the Bible says, "In this world you'll have tribulations," it said there, fear not, because He's overcome this world. He endured the same trials and tribulations that we do. And He overcome this world. Remember, always remember this. Before the world hated you, they hated Him. And then He said, then He talked about not the peace the world gives. That's no peace at all. That's a false peace, or temporary. God's peace is everlasting. You know, I remember my first time as a kid when I seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory for the very first time. All I remember after watching that movie, all I wanted was an everlasting gobstopper. And they were the hardest things to find. But when I finally found one, I was disappointed. Because there was nothing everlasting about it. See, there's nothing permanent in this world. Nothing. Everything in this world is temporary. That's why we sing that song, I can't feel at home in this world anymore. So Lord, I know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what can I do? The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. This world is not my home. I'm just passing through. My treasures are laid up somewhere beyond the blue. You know, folks, that gives you peace when you know that this isn't it, and you thank God that this isn't it. That one day, as we spoke this morning, face to face. Now I know in part, but then I'll know even as I'm known. All the mystery revealed, the shroud will be removed. I used to, you go as a child or as kid. What's the first thing you want to do when you get to heaven? What's the first thing what do you think the first thing you'll say, or first thing you do? And you have all these interesting things. What you're going to do? I think the first thing I'm probably going to say, oh, now I get it. Because right now I don't get it. Right now I don't get it at all. I don't, because my thoughts are not His thoughts. My ways are not His ways. He sees eternity past through eternity future. I see what's right in front of me. To change something in my little old world has a ripple effect that goes throughout eternity past and eternity future. I'm telling you, man has no concept of the actual space-time continuum. There's no understanding of that. You might have seen Back to the Future or, I can't remember the old movie, The Time Machine. You might have seen them movies, and there's zero. Greatest minds in our time cannot explain the space-time continuum. And there are still people think that you can go back and change time. The Bible teaches us once it has came, it is gone. A moment spent is a moment past, or a moment spent is a moment past. We don't have that moment again. We can't go back and change. We can't go back and change. No. When it's gone, it's gone. All that's left is memories and vapors. That's it. There's no parallels going on. God doesn't have 3 or 4 versions of us going on to see which one makes it the best. He has us. He has us. That's what He has. And He must still see good in this world because we're still here. But boy, does it look like the tank of goodness is running dry. Tonight, just remember, as I leave tonight, if I don't see y'all again this side of eternity, I'll see you again there. I guarantee you. Me and my family will be there. Pretty sure God won't let me play piano there because there's far that have been before me that can play far better than I. Maybe He'll let me play the drums though, because I like those. Ain't gonna be no drums in heaven, Brother Jason. I don't know why y'all sing that.
Yeah, hey, I know.
Hush. Hush. Y'all forgive him.
You go, okay.
That's close.
want to tell y'all, it's always an honor. Y'all know how special a place Brother Benny has in my heart. Brother, I was young when I first met Brother Benny. I say young. I met Brother Benny in 1999. Yeah, 99 or 2000. Becca's known him all her life almost. She's known her since she was young from Spence Park. But I surrendered to preach in 1997, and my stepdad at the time was my pastor, and my stepdad passed, and our church had merged with a Spanish church, and then it ended up, it only being, after my stepdad passed, it only ended up being me and my family at the church. So we ended up selling the facilities to the Spanish church, because there was like 100 of them. And so we sold it to church to them, and we moved and we went and started going to Bethel and Sickaville, where Benny was pastor at the time. And he found out I was a preacher, and I wasn't licensed yet. And he let me preach. We've been going there about 3 or 4 months, and he said, "Brother, you gonna bring your word tonight?" Okay. I knew what it was because the church I came from, we didn't have Sunday night service. So when we went there, we'd go on Sunday mornings, but not go on Sunday nights because we were so used to not having Sunday night service. So he said, "Come back tonight and preach tonight." I said, "Okay." So when we went back, my family started going on Sunday nights after that. And Brother Benny Siskevy just, became such a big part of our lives. Preaching and singing, and then he moved over here, and I called and I said, "Did you lose my number?" So the first time I came up here, I guess he found my phone number. But no, I was just always praying for y'all, and that God will add to y'all, and y'all flourish over here. I love this church. This church is so pretty. I tell Becca all the time, it's so pretty. So, but I don't have nothing else, Brother Robert, tonight. Let's all stand.
Remember, next Wednesday night will probably be, we'll let you know. If the weather comes in, it may get canceled. But if the weather don't come in, we'll be here. So keep your eyes open and your ears peeled for Wednesday nights, and hopefully before too long we'll be out of this nasty weather route. Remember Jack and Patty tonight? She's not feeling good, so. And then if we don't show up Wednesday night, remember Saturday cleaning. So, anybody with anything else? Sister Donna.